the first season of the Sunday SITREP. It's not just a tournament, it's a brotherhood.
All right, we're live. What's going on, everybody? You have just me tonight. Austin can't make it, so I'm trying to figure this out on the fly. So if stuff gets messed up, please forgive me. But what we're going to talk about tonight is Louisiana. We have Zach, the Louisiana Director, and Josh, who helps out a ton with the league down there, and he also fishes with them, obviously. And we're just going to talk about their recent event at Cross Lake and, just the growth of the league down there and everything. Before we do that, I've gotten a lot of questions from people lately about For His Glory Outdoors. So I just wanted to address that real quick. They are not disbanding completely. What Bobby is just taking a break. He's spending time with family and focusing on his family right now. The organization has not gone away, so we will continue to donate to them. I have a statement from him here that I'd like to read real quick. It says, "I'm not getting rid of the organization, nor do I want it to go away. It's just to a point where I'm not putting anything before my own family anymore. So that's what I'm doing, putting them first, prioritizing our family goals and our family needs." And then he goes into it more. He has, for those of you that don't know, he has a lot of land that he maintains and takes veterans out hunting, which they're actually doing as we speak right now. There's a family out there with someone else from his organization hunting. So there's a lot more that they do than just the fishing side of it. So don't think that they're going away. He is still there and it still exists. So I just wanted to clear the air on that. But yeah, well, I'm going to bring in Zach and Josh now, and we're going to chat a little bit about Louisiana. What's going on, guys?
Hey, what's up?
What's up?
Not a whole lot. Thank you guys for joining tonight.
Oh, absolutely. Good to be here.
Yeah. What I really want to do is kick off the podcast with some controversy. Bass Opens.
Well, we love controversy down here in Louisiana. Let's get going.
What
do you guys think about it?
I don't know. I understand the need behind it, right? Because you have the forward-facing sonar. You couldn't pay me to be a co-angler right now. But with that being said, with that being said, I started the BFLs where I fished a co-angler a couple times. I had some awesome experiences. I've had some dudes bring me on the front of the boat, teach me some things that I didn't know, and things like that, where I think that we are doing as a sport, as bass fishing altogether, is we are closing it off by taking all these avenues away from these people who are trying to make it, right? So it's great that they've opened up the younger generation with the college and the high school anglers, but what are the people in their 30s and 40s who are going to try to make it going to do, right? We're closing off avenues every step of the way, and I don't like that.
Yeah.
I would.
Okay.
Go ahead, Nick. I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say it. Austin's texting me. I'm doing something wrong here. I think I did that. All right. He's watching. He's gonna guide me through this, so it looks all right. It's kind of a double-edged sword for me. I think it's I know why they're doing it. Exactly what you said. The forward-facing sonar, right? I mean, who wants to pay all that money to go get backboated? But at the same time, I think it closes the door to a lot of people who are trying to get their feet wet and see, is this something that I actually want to do? I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it yet.
What I was going to say about it, and me and Zach kind of had a conversation about it, is there's got to be some kind of middle ground in the whole situation. Do I think it's a bad idea them getting rid of the co-angler? Absolutely not. Because at the end of the day, that guy's kind of getting the raw end of the deal anyway because of forward-facing sonar. But at the same time, I also feel like there needs to be limitations on the boater side as well. If you are a qualified angler for the elites, you should not be able to drop down and go fish unopened.
I completely agree with you. I've always said that.
You're already supposedly one of the best 103 anglers in the country.
Mhm.
What are you doing going down and playing minor league for no reason?
I just think it takes away from the people that are busting their tails trying to get to that point, and you have these guys that are already there at a much higher level
Right.
that kick their teeth
Well,
in.
and the other thing is, I'm on a lot of these pages where these guys are all looking for links for MLF tournaments and everything else. Well, a lot of these guys already have boats, so why are you not registering as a boater and you can do whatever you want?
Well,
Versus knowing you're going to jump on the back of this guy's boat that's going to boat you all day and you're going to be fishing for whatever he has left over for you.
Well, it's a confidence thing, right? Like some of these people aren't confident enough to launch in a 100 boat field, right? It's like the same thing when I try to recruit people to our league. They're like, "Well, I'm not good enough, this and that." And until you actually do it, you don't quite understand what you're getting yourself into. And I think you gain that confidence by being on somebody's boat where the weight of all the decisions is not on your shoulders.
Yeah. And you learn a lot. Let's just say you did get paired up with a pro or whoever, someone that's been doing the opens for a long time. You're going to learn a ton just by being on the back of the boat.
Oh, for sure. Like I was on the back of a boat, some dude from Okeechobee. Like I grew up in upstate New York, and then I fished in North Georgia. I've never punched in my life, and this dude brought me on the front of the boat and taught me how to punch. Like, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't know.
But that's also that's what you were one angler, so out of that entire 100 and something boat field, there was maybe 10 of you that had that experience, and 90 something others was fishing for minnows all day.
It's tough. Yeah.
Especially when you start talking about paying the amount of money that everybody's paying to enter one of those things. Me and the wife have talked about it. I've talked about doing it whenever they had one here, and I was like, probably get screwed around all day, but it's an experience. Hey, I fished a Bass Open.
Yeah.
Like say, you never know who you're going to get paired with, so you may end up with a stick, may end up with Zach's favorite angler or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's like a different conversation. It's like what we do in bass fishing, where we just eat our own, right? Like I don't necessarily know that's a conversation of like, boater, non-boater. It's just, I don't know, be a good person when you have somebody on your boat. That's really the conversation. And
right.
how many times have we seen these stupid videos on YouTube where people are getting into confrontations over nothing? We can just be a good person and help each other out,
For sure. Yeah. And then, but here's the other side. I like it for that guy that is trying to go pro. I don't know how they are, but when I have someone on my boat, I feel bad if they're not catching fish. So I want to put them on there. So it's one more thing that I'm thinking about. Like, okay, now I have to make sure they're catching them too. So that's kind of why I'm like, it's a good thing that they did away with it. But at the same time, it takes away from a lot of people that are trying to get that experience.
It's good and bad. I think they need to really search the avenue of like a team trail. Like, honestly,
Yeah.
because it's good because you're right. Like, that one dude has nothing else to worry about, but it's bad because I think a lot of like pros forget where they came from. Most of them started out as co-anglers.
Yeah.
Like Luke Duncan, I think Mark Rose did. I know Aaron Martin started out as a co-angler,
Mm-hmm.
So.
But if they're fishing with the intention to make it to the elites, they have to declare that at the beginning of the season, don't they? Because
No,
they have EQ points, and then they just have open points.
You have to fish every open. So if you're only going to fish like the West,
yeah. So I mean, the guys that are legitimately chasing a chance to make it into the elites don't pair them up with a co-angler, and the rest of the guys have a chance to get paired. Because let's face it, out of a field of however many, how many guys are actually chasing points trying to make it? Fishing coast to coast, north to south. I couldn't afford to do it.
Oh,
Not with the way they.
Look at the one event we did at Chick. You know what I mean? Those guys are doing what 8, 9 of those or whatever, however many tournaments they're doing. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
that's where
this guy that's here that just made it, he just qualified for MLF. His name's Colby Miller. He lives here on Toledo Bend. And he was gone like months at a time, wouldn't see home.
Yeah, it's nuts. The guy I know from up here, he said I'd met him up in August on the St. Lawrence. I saw him at a gas station. He's like, dude, I haven't been home in January or February. I'm like, it's insane.
Yeah, but then
I don't see how they maintain a family life or anything else doing that.
But then there's the other conversation. Why would I go fish on the elites when I could go fish the Texas Team Trail or the Louisiana Team Trail and make probably just as much money?
Yeah, it's true. So that's the thing with all these other clubs popping up. You can make if you're good in your area, you can make good money going club to club around, you know. But
yeah, by all means, do I want to go
fees.
up? By all means, do I want to go up and fish for smallmouth? Sure, why not? But I can make a trip out of that and go fish an ABA up there. But I can do my season in the Alabama Team Trail or the Alabama Trail or the Texas Team Trail or Louisiana Trail. Like, it just like because sponsorship dollars are with social media especially, they're so funneled. You know, you essentially have to be a social media influencer if you want any real sponsorship dollars.
Oh, you have to. Yeah, no doubt. But that I think it also opens up a lot. You know, it's a good thing for organizations like us. You know, now that co-anglers are going away, they're probably going to be looking at the team tournaments more. You know, where they can still build their way up to fish the classic.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Looking at different avenues that they can still make their final dream come true.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, and I think that was already the trend anyway, and I think this just compounds it or reinforces the idea that people are going to do that. Honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, let's look at any of our schedules. The average boater, by the time you pay entry fees, fuel, and all that, what you have wrapped up in a season of ours, $2,000.
Oh yeah.
Versus $2,000 a weekend.
Yeah. Seriously. But I mean, hopefully they take a look at all these other clubs and like us and other organizations that they can work their way up to whatever level they want to get to. We'll see.
Absolutely.
But let's talk about so you guys just had your Cross Lake event down at the what town was that in?
That was in Shreveport.
I say down, but that's north, right? That's north for you guys?
That's north for us.
Yeah. How'd that go? How was it?
So it was a pretty good. So I enjoyed everything. I enjoyed everything up to the tournament. Unfortunately, we got hit with arguably some of the worst weather you could get with a tournament and already a historically tough lake to fish. I would say all in all, it was a pretty good day. You know, we were able to raise some money for the Legion. We didn't get, I think we got about a 10 boat field. I think we were looking at a 20 boat field, but I think the weather deterred quite a few people from fishing it.
Yeah.
What I will say though, and to anybody out here who is thinking about joining AFFL, and I've already said this to you, Nick, it was a proof of concept, right? So we had Brock come all the way down from like New Iberia. We had Chris and William. That's like a 4-hour drive for him, easy to come up and fish for us. We had Josh come from, Toledo Bend. Obviously, me and my partner came from Fort Johnson. Then we had Chris and William come out from, they were in West Texas. And we had Philip, who lives right over in Shreveport. They came and supported it. And really what that is I think that shows you like what you were trying to establish here, where it's not just a tournament trail like the BFLs where we just show up and fish. You were able to established a community. Everybody knew, like, just seeing that we were having a tournament. We all showed up, stayed in a hotel the night before, went, introduced ourselves to the Legion, and then we ran a tournament. We recruited, and I think we were able to even pull a team out of there because of everybody that showed up and helped fish and made the event successful, right? Like, yeah. We didn't raise as much money as we wanted to, but I think it was proof, and it showed everybody in the league, like, this isn't just like the BFLs or any regular nation, nation club. Like everybody's going to be there, and we've established a community full of like-minded individuals.
It's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, that tournament, that was arguably the worst weather I fished in since last January and February when we were kicking off our season last year. It
So,
ranked right up there with it. It was wet.
so if I'm kind of a fair weather fisherman, would you have fished this event if it wasn't with this league?
Absolutely not.
No.
I'll come right out and say it.
I would not have made, I'll be 1,000% honest. I wouldn't have made the 90 something mile trip from my house here to go up there and fish it. Absolutely not.
That's how bad it was.
Yeah, maybe if I was like fishing Toledo Bend or like a lake around here, I would have gone out and tested the waters. But if I like midday, if I'm not catching anything, it's going on the trailer. I'm going to the house. Like it was.
Oh, by lunchtime, I was ready to put it on the trailer anyway.
I did.
That was about the time my rain suit started leaking through a little bit, and my pants were starting to get cold, wet, and it was just one thing after another, And then what was really weird was about mid-morning, the fog that came in. It was like the fog would come in and it would leave, and it would come in and it would leave. And we were fishing. Me and my partner William, we were fishing maybe 500 yards from the I-220 bridge, and it would get so thick that you couldn't even see the bridge anymore. You could just hear the vehicles going across or the sirens and stuff because they were having so many wrecks on the bridge.
Yeah, God.
I guarantee you, we saw the traffic stop on the interstate 4 different times in the 8 hours we were fishing for wreck.
Really?
It was nuts.
But with all that being said, though, like all in all, like I had a great time getting together with everybody because we all stayed in a hotel. We sat out, we drank a couple beers that night and whatnot, and had an awesome time. I did, yeah. So in that fog, Phil called me. Actually, I'd already put my boat on the trailer. I was done with it. I put my boat on the trailer. I was inside the Legion. I was figuring out the money and everything. And Phil called me. I had to go launch my boat and get him. I could not see to go and get. I had to make a 5-mile run, and it took me an hour to make that run because I couldn't see.
God.
Yeah,
that was the thickest fog I've ever seen in my life.
Man, that's pretty good. So what's that lake like? Is it so? Like, is it? So you said it's not known as being a good fishery.
It's a recreation lake mostly. Like lots of doctors, lawyers, people with money live around it. You ride around the lake and you look in the boat slips and you don't see bass boats. It's pontoon boats and jet skis, and it's that kind of place.
Is there big fish in it?
I mean, I don't know. One of the guys told me they caught a 7-pound fish. I figured out the spot they were talking about. I went and fished that same spot for like 3 hours and didn't catch nothing. But
I'm talking about an old wash pot.
Yeah. But what I'll say is what makes that lake so difficult is it's a man-made lake and there's nothing in there, right? There's no contour lines. There's nothing. It's 7 foot in the deep part and then 4 foot near the shore. And that is the entire lake. So, yeah, it's a silt bottom.
Every fish that we caught, me and William ended up finishing third behind the 2 local teams that we had. And everything we caught was in like 4 foot of water or less.
Man, which sounds like that's
and 4 of the 5 fish came out of the same hole.
Where's that hole?
What's that?
Where's the hole?
Zach knows where I'm talking about. Whenever they came and we was talking to him around this boathouse, that's where I caught the first fish. And I was remember you asked me if I was going left or right. You said, "Well, I guess we're gonna go this way."
Yeah.
I'm glad you went that way. I never got a chance to tell you that. I was letting you pick because you didn't have nothing in the. Well, by this time we had 4 in the live well.
I mean,
And we went back to where we started the day at, and I just had a feeling about that spot that morning at takeoff. And then something told me, said, and I even told Zach this. I said, I'm gonna tie on a shaky head, I think. And sure enough, I tied on a shaky head, and the third cast, I put one. Well, I lost that one, and then a couple casts later, I put one in the boat.
I mean, it
Well,
didn't matter.
and then
By
we
that
went
point,
around
I'm
that
like,
corner, and all those fish came out of this one hole between these two cypress trees.
yeah. No, by that point in time, dude, I'd quit. I didn't care. I was just waiting for the time so I'd put my boat on the trailer. I was done. Honestly, this is terrible. but
So that will be
well,
on the schedule.
no, oh God, no. That lake will never. No.
No,
As long as I'm the director,
I'm using my
that lake
drop.
will never. Yeah, that lake will
If
never
that's on the
change.
schedule, I'm using my drop.
Yeah. All in
Or
all,
I'll
though,
use a
like,
substitution and let William take my boat. I don't care. I'm not fishing it again.
but if Louisiana were to ask me if I wanted to do another benefit tournament again, I would do it again. Like
Yeah.
like without a doubt, I would do that again. That was a lot of fun. It's just not something like I want to fish in the tournament season.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what? You said you came in third.
Yeah.
Did you catch a lot of fish, or just basically 5, and that put you above the?
Well, if we would have landed everything that was on the line, I lost. I don't know. Is William in there? I can't
Oh
see
yeah.
who's in there. William, I lost what, 4? I think I lost 4 keepers. And I mean, if we would have had them, I think we could have gave those guys a run for their money. We were less than a pound behind second place.
Yeah.
What we leave out is the person who took second place. So they came to me, and they in the morning they're like, "Hey, I'm an electrician. I'm on call. I might get a call." And then they got a call, and he asked me, he's like, "Hey, if I come back and pay you my money, do you have any problem with me coming fishing?" I said, "No, it's fine." So he called me about halfway through the day, and in a quarter of the time that we did, my man's caught 970 or something. So I mean,
Yeah.
so
So I'm listening to him and the guys that won it. They were kind of having a conversation off to the side, and I was just kind of listening to them talk. All their fish came out of the same hole.
Really?
Yeah, they were fishing. So I guess they called it wash pot or something like
I
that.
found the wash spot. I found it. I fished it
Yeah,
for about 3 hours.
apparently that was where the juice was,
Yeah,
on the
I
entire
don't
lake.
know.
Because one of them said to the other, "Yeah, we pulled up there and you were in there, so we just left it alone. Figured we'd come back after you left." And they went
Yeah.
back in.
I don't know. Me and Knowles didn't catch anything there.
Where is it at? Way up north?
It was on the other side by the railroad bridge. There was a pipe that had water flowing into it.
No.
But with
Is it
that
big?
though, it's just like literally like one pipe, like, and you see it and you're like, dude, I should catch fish here.
No,
And
like
I
the
didn't.
lake. I mean, like the whole
Oh
lake. Is it?
no, I can run the entire lake in 5 minutes.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's small.
yeah. Gotta look it up.
But it's one of the lakes in Louisiana you can run wide open. It's like straight across it. And so I
So
kind
there's
of
not
like
a
it.
lot of dumps or anything.
No.
That's nice.
But well, I mean, I think too. I mean, I think we picked up. I think we picked a team up from there. So I mean, that worked out for us.
Yeah.
So that'd be
Those
huge plus.
firefighters,
Yeah.
they seem like good guys.
So, well, I think that brings us into what our upcoming event, January 11th. We're going to be fishing. We're going to be fishing Grand Bayou Resort or Grand Bayou Reservoir. We fished it last year. That was a pretty brutal tournament, but I don't think it's going to be as brutal as it was last year, this year, because it doesn't seem like we have the same cold coming in. But as of right now, I think I have 13 teams getting ready to fish with us this year, or this tournament, on the first tournament.
Awesome.
That's already doubled what we were fishing last year. It's about doubled. So we have 13 teams. That'll bring our payout for first place $747. Second place would be $358, and then third place is $198. So so if we want to get to that magic number of $1,000 for first place, we need to get 20 members. I think we're on pace to do that. I think by the end of the year
Hey,
we'll have 20 boats fishing.
Zach, not to interrupt, but you see what William's talking about? Me and him had a conversation about this. He's been putting some flyers out over on this East Texas side while he's got a little time off, and he's making some connections that want to come fish with us until Texas gets stood up or whatever happens across the river there.
By all means, we'd more than happy to have them.
Absolutely.
But like with that though, we have 13 teams that are fishing this tournament. We're gonna have 15 teams that are gonna be fishing with us for the duration of the season. So Paul can't make it. So unfortunately, I had to change the schedule because of the active soldiers. We have to go TDY to Alaska, and I had to schedule on the same day as Paul's. I've already had a conversation with Paul offline. By no means do I want to schedule over his tournament. I do everything in my power not to schedule, in his tournament. So he won't be able to fish, but he understands why we had to do what we had to do. So we moved our tournament there, and I do my best not to schedule over him. And so he'll be fishing the following tournament, and then Brock will be fishing the following tournament. What I will tell people, like me and Nick talked about this, what we're going to do if you guys don't want to use this for your drop event, if you want to pay your entry fee, and we'll pay that place out, then we will give you last place points, and you don't have to use that for your drop event, and it won't ruin your season. I already know Brock has done that. I have to call Paul and have a conversation with Paul about that. I don't know if he plans on doing that or not.
That's just for this event, though, like only because of the schedule change.
Yeah, just this event, just this event right here. It's only for this event, and he's the only one I know, and Brock's the only one I know right now we've talked to, and that's going to happen for Brock. And that should bring us up if we can get up to 15. And I already know I've talked to a couple guys. We have people getting ready to sign up as we go. We have one guy named Chris out in the West Monroe area. He lives near the Caney Creek area, and he was talking to me about fishing. He said we're going to have to change Black Bayou. He said it's too low. We're going to have to change it. I've been talking to him. We're not going to change the date. We're just going to change the lake. And it's going to be out in that area. He suggested a lake to me. I can't remember the name of it. It's like Paradise Point or something. It's the name of another lake out there. There's more to come on that. That's at the end of the season. That's months away. We have time to adjust on that. That's just letting people know for when they're making plans. That's a long ways away. Right now, I'm just worried about
I don't know. I can't, like I said, I can't see who all's in here, but hopefully we have a lot of our Louisiana guys in. I mentioned to Zach the weekend of the May tournament at Caney Creek. We need some feedback on this. Looking at maybe trying to do a family weekend. Get the wife and kids out, and because it's at Jimmy Davis State Park, and they have a lot of cabins. You can rent cabins. Kids get a chance to play. Wives get a chance to meet. Have like a family weekend in conjunction with our tournament. Because we always hear these names, and the wives hear all these names, and
that's
finally get a chance to, huh?
That's such an Army thing of you to say. Family.
I know. Get the family day, organization day, and right after they're gonna have a FRG meeting too.
Yeah.
Well, it's one of our last tournaments of the year. 100%, right? We advertise ourselves as like a family friendly organization, but like at the root core of what we do, we do fish tournaments. But what we do want to do is like we'll see about getting something together, maybe having a barbecue, something at weigh-in, drink a couple beers together or something. Because I know I'm gonna have to stay up there. It's a haul for me.
How far is it?
For me, I think I looked at it. It's over a 3-hour drive for me.
Yeah, it's gonna be right at 3 hours for me.
How long does it take you guys? Like if you went from the northern point of Louisiana all the way down as far south as you can go, how long of a drive is that?
It's got to be 7-8 hours.
Brock, probably I'd say 8 to 10 hours If you're
That's
going
great.
like from the Arkansas line and you go all the way down to Venice, because Venice is one of the most southern points that you can access by vehicle, I would say it'd probably take you 8 to 10 hours.
Man, I didn't realize how big that state was.
Yeah, I kind of
That's
live
great.
in the center. I can get to the south or the north in about a 3-hour time span. It's like takes me about 4 hours to get to Arkansas.
Yeah.
But anywhere that we're gonna go, like from my house here on Toledo Bend, my furthest tournament's gonna be what, Caney Creek.
Yeah, it's mine too. It's about a 3.5 hour drive for me.
Most of them are within most of our lakes that we have. William said 6 hours. 6 hours from the Arkansas line to Venice. That's still a haul. I mean, we were almost to Chickamauga in 6 hours from here.
That's great.
But like the furthest from the east side of or the west side of the state where we all live, be it DeRidder, Toledo Bend, me and Zach, the furthest trip I have is, other than Caney Creek's, an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours to all the rest of our lakes. Except for Toledo Bend. I mean, it depends on what boat launch I want to use. It's right across the street.
So what's the what lake do you guys think is going to produce the biggest bag for the season?
I don't know. The biggest fish was caught on Grand Bayou last year. It's all going to depend. If we hit Toledo Bend at the right time, I've scheduled Toledo Bend with the hopes that we're hitting it in the spawn. So if we hit Toledo Bend in the spawn, like absolutely, like Toledo Bend's going to be the one that's going to produce the biggest bag. Yeah. But if we don't hit Toledo Bend in the spawn, like they all have potential to produce 20-pound bags every lake that we're fishing. Because Chico, I've caught a 20-pound bag out of Chico before that has big fish in it.
I took second place on Chico last year with 2 fish, and I didn't boat the first one till after 1 o'clock.
So yeah, Chico has big fish. I would say probably Caddo.
Chico's got the money in it.
Caddo's got some big fish in it. I say Caddo probably has the potential to produce the biggest bag. It's all the problem with Louisiana, or especially like the lakes we're fishing. It's not a matter of which lake produces the biggest fish, because they all probably produce the same size fish. It's, are we hitting them at the right time?
Yeah.
Right? And when we have to start our tournament, I mean, we have such a small window to hit certain lakes at the right time, you know. So it's
weather and the moon that time of year depicts a lot.
Yeah.
Williams calling it.
I'm really looking forward, just because it's one that we haven't been to with the league. I really think Caney stands a chance to pull a bag. Well, it's going to be in May. It's going to be an offshore tournament, but I feel like there's going to be a nice bag or two come out of Caney.
Well, Chris, who I was talking to out in West Monroe, Caney's his home lake. He's telling me he's pulling double digits out of Caney right now. So,
like double digit, like fish, like a single fish.
Yeah, like 10-pound bass.
That's crazy.
Well, look, if you wanna see Caney was the lake that they fished in conjunction with them the MLF going to Bussy Break. You remember that weekend that I think Alton Jones Jr. won on Bussy, but that lake that they fished before they went to Bussy was Caney Creek. They were pulling some studs out of there.
Yeah, Chris was telling me he's pulling out double-digit bass. I mean, it's believable. I mean, I caught last year on Grand Bayou. I caught an almost 8-pound bass off of a drop shot in 2 inches of water. So
yeah, you did.
So you know, and
I'm still a little salty behind that.
He just pulled out when I pulled in, and I caught a 7-pound bass.
I had worked. Me and William had worked that hole for over an hour because the week before the tournament, I went over there and I sat in the same spot, and I caught. I think I quit counting at like 28 that I caught out of that pocket. I'm just sitting there. Huh?
Why do you think I trolled up there? I blew my motor,
And then,
remember?
huh?
I blew my motor,
That was
remember?
when you blew your motor up or whatever.
Yeah.
You were on your
I
trolling
had,
motor all day.
I had to troll up there. That was the only spot I had because I knew I went up there and caught 20 plus fish. So I went up there. I didn't think I was going to catch a 7, but I knew it was like that was my best chance of saving some points.
Yeah.
And I caught a 7.
We talked to him. We're
one.
leaving the spot, and he's trolling in there. It tells me he had motor problems. I was like, "Oh man, that sucks," because you're like about as far away from the boat ramp that you could possibly get when you get to this hole we're talking about.
Yeah.
And then he comes back. Oh, I got a 7-pounder out of that hole right after y'all left
With a drop shot. Yeah.
I was like, this guy.
Oh, I blew my motor though. Did I really win? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, you did. Hey, you got a real boat out of the deal too.
Yeah, that's true.
A real boat.
Yeah.
Why? What do you have? You got a new boat?
I got a Skeeter ZX225.
Yeah, that's when he bought his Skeeter. Was the a couple weeks after he blew his motor up at on Grand Bayou.
What'd you have before?
Old Bass Cat.
Oh yeah, you told me before.
Yeah, I had a Bass Cat Pantera too. I love that boat. I still have it sitting in my backyard because I have sentimental value and I can't get rid of it.
Well, repower it. Put a new motor on it.
I got my wife wants me to get rid of it, but
that's the daughter's inheritance, huh?
Yeah, she can inherit that boat.
What's the so Zach? Since you've been down there, what's the biggest bass you've caught in Louisiana?
Oh, that's 7,
without
a doubt. But I've caught more 5 and 6 pounders than in the last 2 years I've been down here than I have my entire life.
Yeah,
I mean, especially this last tournament, I was like the one fish wonder this last tournament. I would suck all day and come to I would come to the scale with a 6-pound bass.
Yeah.
He come easing in there talking about, I was like, well, how was your day? Oh, I only got one. And then he wouldn't tell you how big it was. He'd pull it out at weigh-in time. Yeah, but you just beat 3/4 of the field with your one fish because it's 8 pounds.
Yeah. I've caught more big fish these last 2 years than I have my entire life, without a doubt. I mean, I complain about Toledo Bend pretty regularly, but it has produced some of the biggest fish I've ever caught.
Yeah.
I hate that lake.
What about you, Josh? So you were born and raised down there, right?
Yeah. I was born and raised down in DeRidder where Zach lives, actually. And then during COVID, my wife and I, we moved up here to Toledo Bend. And the biggest, I've touched 10 pounds. I don't know weight wise what it was, but I've touched close to 10 pounds here on Toledo Bend. I don't think I ever caught anything over, but I've touched mid-9s.
It's awesome.
And this lake here, it just goes through so many transitions and it turns over a lot. And now that the elites and MLF aren't coming back, give it a couple years and then you'll start hearing about Toledo Bend, how it's on fire again and it's producing studs. I remember
that's pretty good. I mean, they're not even going to Champlain and the St. Lawrence for their northern swing this year.
Yeah. I don't know what they were doing.
Well, because I looked at the schedule, because originally when I looked at the schedule, I was like, the schedule sucks. Like, why would you fish the schedule? But what I think it is they're trying to get a mix between live scope tournaments and not live scope tournaments.
Yeah.
And when you look at it from that angle, that schedule makes a lot of sense. It turns into a way better schedule. But because they're not.
What's that lake out there in North Carolina or wherever they're going? I've never heard of in my life. It's like midway through the season.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Where was it? Let's see if I can find this.
Like Uncle Jimmy's back 40 pond or something like that.
Pretty much, right? you said North Carolina, right?
It's
Yeah.
like somewhere. Well, I don't know if it's in North.
Pasquotank River.
Yeah, I've never even heard of that.
Yeah.
Albemarle Sound. The North Carolina guy is going to kill me for that, but yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we're fixing to get corrected real quick because somebody in here has probably fished it.
Yeah,
No.
I've never heard of it either.
No, but I think for sure.
They may as well put Cross Lake, Louisiana, Shreveport, Louisiana on that schedule.
Dude,
I'd like to
like,
see them hold a tournament on there and see how it turned out.
that like hurt my feelings.
Yeah, I think out of the 27 fish that were in that entire 27 bass that were in there, we caught 20 of them between the entire field.
I mean, that like hurt my feelings. Yeah, but it was good. It was good. We raised money for the Legion, and
oh yeah, it was a great time.
Yeah,
and what I enjoyed more about it than any of the rest of it was, like we all got the hotel rooms, like Zach said, just being able to hang out and shoot the breeze with each other, talk fishing, whatever,
Yeah.
just be able to get together. And
well, that brings me to the point. So, I've been talking to a bunch of people that want to join. There's a couple guys, and they say like, I want to fish, but I don't know if I'm good enough. One, like, we're not elite anglers, right? Like all of us have a job. We have a full-time job, and we fish on the weekends. But two, like, for this league, like, nobody here, it's not like, some of the other leagues I've been in where I put my boat in the water, I go out to the no-wake buoy, and I'm looking at my graph. Nobody here is going to leave you hanging out to dry. Like, if we know that you're brand new at tournament fishing and you can't get on them, I mean, call somebody. They're gonna help you out. I know Brock's called me multiple times, and we've shared information back and forth. Me and Josh will talk back and forth. Everybody will talk back and forth, and generally everybody's going to catch fish. Like, so I mean, I wouldn't let it intimidate you. Like, we're competitive, but we're not that good.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I think a lot of it has to do with we're a group of anglers that just like fishing. The the camaraderie and the brotherhood, and we all relate to each other in some way or another because of our service or whatever qualification brought you to the league. But at the end of the day, we just all love fishing, and we're going to take care of each other.
Watch, you guys going to go out there and crack 20-pound bags now at every tournament with all these new guys.
Let's do
We're
it.
not that good.
Hey,
man, if I crack 20
if
bags,
if the National League had a Angler of the Year award, I can tell you who would have won that. Without a doubt, me and William would have won that. But it was for the wrong reason. Golly, out of the 5 tournaments we had on the schedule last year,
yeah,
we finished second in 4 of them, or 3 of them. I was like, man, I mean, consistency pays, but man, I can't tell you how many times on the way home I've said some choice words in the truck. I'm like, man, when's this monkey gonna get off our back?
Yeah.
And I would love to lose by 10 pounds before I lose by ounces. Because then you start the whole way home, you're just sitting there grinding your gears, trying to figure out where you went wrong at some point during the day,
Yeah.
But it was a great season. I had a ton of fun. Man, the trip to Tennessee was something else. Me and Zach were talking about Gunnersville today, looking forward to it. And I think the wife's already about wore out Airbnb looking for houses and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm just waiting to hear back. I got to follow up with them. I called them a couple weeks ago, 2 different spots. But they haven't gotten back to me yet. So I'm just waiting to hear back. We're looking at either the Gunnersville State Park area, which looks like on the map it's a little further south, or the Goose Pond. I'm leaning towards Goose Pond. That's what it's called, right? Goose Pond.
Yeah, it's Goose Pond. And you'll
Yeah.
go up there and you'll see. Like I was telling Josh, if we go to Goose Pond, like you can launch your boat. And if I remember correctly, you just pull your boat up to where you're staying and you can run the power cord right out to your boat. So,
Yeah.
like if you can leave your boat launched the entire time and just drive to the ramp in the morning because it's just right
It looked
down
like
the
it was
road.
set up a lot like Chickamauga was. Not necessarily like the resort itself, but it looked like there was a town right there near the boat ramp.
Yeah, there's Scottsboro right there.
That's what it was.
Yeah, Scottsboro's where all like the pros live. It's a pretty nice little town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's probably a ton of Airbnbs and stuff, if I had to imagine. And then it looks like Goose Pond actually has like a like cabins and camping sites, RVs if people want to tow an RV and all that stuff. So
Oh yeah, I ain't towing nothing. I'm gonna get a cabin and tow the boat.
but that's what we're looking, and I'm trying to get it for like the middle of October. I'm just waiting to hear back from these places to lock down the exact dates because I don't know what their availability is. But we'll get that out as soon as we can. I'm looking forward to it. I'm not sure if I'm going to fish the tournament itself or if I'm probably just going to tow my boat and go fun fishing during it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
You don't want to fish the tournament?
I do, man. It's just a lot, when you're trying to worry about running the event and then, focusing on the tournament too. I say that, and then tournament day comes. I'm like, yeah, screw this.
Yeah, you're gonna want to fish. Don't fool yourself. I've said that
And
before. Yeah, no. I'm just gonna
we'll
show
make
up.
sure the old gumbo chef makes it. The old gumbo chef's in here.
I know he is. I'm not eating that the night before the tournament. I was hurting, man.
Gunnersville's a cool lake, man. We should crack them there. We should catch some pretty big fish there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
in October, it'd be starting to cool off, too.
Yeah.
It'll be hot.
Chickamauga, we were supposed to get big bags, but Josh caught a drum.
Hey, y'all leave my 7-pound drum alone. It was my excitement for the week, all right?
Yeah. We're gonna have an MC and do it like Dave Mercer and everything, or are we just gonna get Austin up there being the MC?
Yeah. I think he's watching still. I'm trying to coordinate stuff like that. Like I want a like drone footage and like cameras, like professional photography at the weigh-in, stuff like that. So and then take off in the morning and all that. But
you know what? Reach out to your contact at Bass.
I could, yeah.
Because they're based out of what, Birmingham?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The headquarters is out of Birmingham, so a lot of those guys that do all that for Bass, they ought to be pretty local and maybe able to strike up something with them.
Yeah. Writing that down so I don't forget.
Trying to think.
I've got a contact or two in my phone that I'll get with you offline about, Nick. I'm not gonna put somebody's personal information out.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I've never even fished in Alabama before. Actually, kind of on West Point Lake, but I don't count that.
Yeah, don't get me started on West Point Lake. If I complain about Toledo Bend, you don't want to hear me talk about West Point Lake. The lake is terrible. I've only
It wasn't great.
Wait, hold on. So I have something to compare it to. You going to Cross Lake or you going to West Point?
I have a better chance of catching fish across.
Oh. Yeah, I hate West Point Lake.
Yeah, West Point Lake sucks, man. I don't like that lake. I should watch what I say. Philip might put that on the schedule.
Yeah.
No,
I don't think
lake.
I don't think I saw that on there.
Well, what I'm excited to see is we're the first tournament. We're the first league to get going this year, aren't we?
Yeah. Yep.
Who? And then what? Is it South Carolina and Georgia, or Georgia, South Carolina?
I think just about. Let me check real quick. So South Carolina. I don't know if he put up his schedule yet. No, it's not up yet. I know North Carolina's in February. Virginia.
It seems like there was 2 or 3 states that were like within a week or 2 of each other until we had to change our date and move it way forward, or move it forward those couple of weeks.
Surprisingly, I know, like, I apologize for moving the date, but everybody I talked to was like seemed happy that we moved the date. They were ready to get out fishing.
I'm just ready to go fishing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I mean, that Cross Lake tournament, I told William about 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning, I was like, man, we gotta start fishing. My back was hurting at like 10:30 in the morning. My arms were hurting. My back was hurting. I was like, man, it's been too long since we fished.
Oh, dude, when I go on like multi-day fishing trips, I have to bring this back roller with me because my upper back gets so tight and sore.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of our guys up here. He's right too. When you guys are fishing in January, our boat's still going to be wrapped for.
Hey, well, all you gotta do is let us know when you're coming. We can find you a boat, and I got places for you to stay. Get on a plane. Come on.
I'd love to get down there. Really would.
I mean, we'll probably all be bundled up in thick suits and everything. Y'all be out there fishing in shorts and t-shirts, but
I guarantee
I
it.
didn't go fishing today because it was too cold.
Yeah,
it was like 60.
60, huh? Yeah, it's 60. It's 10 degrees right now.
Yeah, I think Wednesday for Christmas we're supposed to have like 65, 70 degrees and rain.
Yeah,
it always rains here on Christmas. Y'all get snow and everything else. We just get rain.
Yeah.
But with that being said, if any of you guys that reached out, if you're in Louisiana, like, I want to remind everybody, get on Fishing Chaos and sign up. We have some memberships rolling in. We don't have a lot. You can access the Fishing Chaos app from our website, Armed Forces Fishing. But get signed up so that way I can confirm you guys in there. I know a majority of you guys are fishing. You've told me you're coming to fish, but this way, like, we know for sure everybody's signed up and we don't got to do anything at the ramp, and we can just get on and go fishing. Because how the first tournament's going to work is, like, I'm going to get at the ramp at 5. I'm probably looking at launching everybody off about 6:45-ish, depending on the light. 6:15, we're going to do a tournament meeting. It'll be the only required tournament meeting of the year. And the only thing we're going to do for that tournament meeting is I'm going to create something for the rules that I want to highlight so we can all get a shared understanding of what we need to do for the year. So there's no misunderstanding. Everybody's on the same sheet of music and we're good. And then after that, we'll just go out fishing. And it's not like going to be anything serious. I just want to highlight some rule changes that we did for the year so everybody understands there's no confusion throughout the year.
Yeah, it's a good call for sure.
And real quick, just in case it doesn't get brought up again, Zach gets to fish till 3 o'clock. So the quicker everybody pitches in and gets the scale set up and everything, the quicker we weigh fish. So when you get back at 3 o'clock, don't be standing in the parking lot with a bag full of fish expecting them to get weighed right away. Yeah, he's doing us a service by being the state director. I think the least we can do for him is ensure him and his partner get a full day of fishing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and how it's gonna work is like 3 o'clock. Everybody's gonna be in. I'll be in there. We'll check everybody in, and then I'll open the scales at 3:30. 3:30 will be the hard end. I've had no problems with anybody helping set up the scales. Everybody's more than willing to pitch in, right? But like, the quicker people help out, the quicker I get fish weighed, and we'll get you guys on out of there. So that would be good.
Absolutely.
Let's see. Can you forward that to me? I think he's talking about your highlights for the rules.
Yeah, who is it? I can't see.
That's Tim in Indiana.
Yeah. I can send that to him.
Yeah. Good deal. If you haven't done so already, make sure you get into the giveaway. Write it exactly like that. We have 10 entries and 14 people watching right now. So if you haven't, I've seen it bounce between like 12 and up to 15, 16 people. So if you haven't entered, go ahead and enter now. And yeah, other than that, I don't have a whole lot more. You guys have anything else you want to add? Talk about Louisiana?
Man, and I know I say it all the time, but once again, thank you to you, Nick, and all the state directors that are in here. Appreciate y'all what y'all do for us, giving us a platform to fish and just be together and have a good time. I know it takes everybody, but again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you to you guys for putting up with all the stuff that y'all have to deal with and
Yeah.
sticking it out and being there for us.
Yeah, thank you. We appreciate you guys promoting the league too. I mean, honestly, we could do all the work behind the scenes and get everything set up, but without you guys, it doesn't matter. So yeah, thank you, anglers.
Yeah. The only thing I got is, well, one, for Louisiana, please sign up so we can get to that 20 mark, so we can be a small club, like paying out $1,000. How many small clubs do that, right? Where
Yeah.
it's 100% payback. I take zero of the money in. That's 100% payback. But with that though, like I told you before, man, like I think the proof of concept's there. I seen it with Louisiana with that cross tournament, and I see it every day because like I get out and recruit, but I can only do so much because I'm only in one central part of the state. I got Brock down in New Iberia. He's recruiting. I got Josh around Toledo Bend. I got Paul and Phil over in Shreveport. They're always recruiting that way, and you got Chris and William out in East Texas right now recruiting. So I mean, we really it's I'm here because somebody needs to weigh the fish in, but really the guys recruiting are the reason why our field has doubled in a matter of 9 months. That's why. So
Absolutely. And
Hey, we can't have a derby Saturday. I'm ready to go fishing. Let's have a derby.
yeah.
For you guys looking up, it's exactly the same way as before. You just go to the armedforcesfishing.com, and right at the top of the page, there's a button that says Enlist Now, and that'll redirect you right to the Fishing Chaos. It's basically the same form as the old platform we're using. Just put in your information, and then that sends a notification to us, and we get you guys registered within your states. So we'll move you over. But do that ASAP. I mean, some states have a limit on to how many that they can hold for each tournament due to permits and regulations on the lakes, and it's filling up. So don't wait, for sure. Don't wait. Awesome. Well, last chance to get into the, yeah, like up here in New Hampshire, we have, permit sizes that for your basic permit fee covers up to 15 boats, and then that's only allowed on certain lakes. And then, yeah, you can only have certain amount of boats for tournaments on lakes. And then, if you want to go over 15 boats, your permit fee goes up. Yeah, it is crazy. But we're not the only state, is what I'm saying. There's other states.
I know. When I was up there at our friend's place in Minnesota, and they were like, "Yeah, check the DNR schedule because everybody's got to have a permit in order to host the tournament on the lake." I was like, "What are y'all talking about? We won't have a tournament. We just show up, pay your money, and go fishing."
we have to pull a permit with Fish and Game, and then we have to pull a permit with Marine Patrol as well to have to host an event. So,
Uncle Sugar got to get his money.
You guys blew my mind when you're like, "Oh, what's a permit?" I was like, "Okay, I'm in the wrong place." Yeah.
So you got your registration sticker on the side of your boat. It's good to go. You go fishing. Have a good time.
Yeah, not here. I'll tell you that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, get registered, guys. We keep an eye on it. Like I said, we get notifications when you sign up. It's the same process. So go ahead and do that when you get the chance. I know it's the holiday season, so if you're waiting until after, just don't wait too long. But other than that, I don't have a whole lot. to say. Thank you guys for coming on, talking about Louisiana and your state and recent events and everything. And yeah, thanks.
Absolutely. Good being on, visiting, and everybody have a Merry Christmas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Yeah, brother, I appreciate you having come on, highlighting Louisiana a little bit. I get excited to come talk about Louisiana just because of the growth that I've seen in Louisiana. So I appreciate that and appreciate everybody, all together in the league. Everybody having a good Christmas.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All
All right, guys, I'll catch up with you.
right, later.
All right, guys. Merry Christmas. We'll talk later.
Merry Christmas. All right, and we're gonna do the giveaway now. So let's. We have 12 entries. Last chance. I'm gonna give you one more second to get in there. Do it just like the hashtag down there. All right, and here we go. It's not sharing the screen. I messed that up. Sorry, guys. No. Well, Phil Hunt, Philip Hunt, you won the giveaway. Sorry about that. Like I said, Austin's not here to help me tonight, so I messed that up a little bit. But Philip Hunt, you won. So we'll get that out. It's a barbecue sauce and a T-shirt. All right, thank you guys again. Oh, there it is. That's all I had to do. Thank you guys again for listening in, and I'm not sure how to do the outro. If he has it, Austin was going to help me, but his internet's pretty slow. But yeah, thanks, guys. I'll talk to you soon. Merry Christmas.